Here we go. We're going to try to get the power steering stuff bolted on, or at least the reservoir and the lines run. And then I can work on getting the turbo placement right, so I can start working on the downpipe, intercooler pipe, seeing what lines up. But before I do all that, I gotta get the power steering stuff on because I have to clock the turbo to clear the power steering reservoir. Dumb. Maybe next year I'll relocate it, but for now, if it still fits in the stock location, might as well leave it. Here we go.
I feel like somebody's watching me.
Alright guys, here we are again. Just got off from work on Friday. Don't even know what date it is. And go put some time on the 240. I think I finished off last time. I got the power steering stuff kind of tied in. I got this tacked on. I don't think I have that on video, but it's just a cast elbow. I used to run a coupler here, but it's real close to the header, and since I have this lying around in the scrap bin, I figured I'd utilize it. So it's just tacked on, get that placed. And then from yesterday's video, you saw me kind of cutting and fitting stuff. So this is what I got so far for the dump, or the downpipe. I just got to see if I have any more 3-inch to get me below the car. Once I get underneath the car, I'm going to bump up to 3 1/8. Oddball size is just what I happen to have, because they're throwing it away at work at my last job. So I'm going to utilize all the scrap stainless I got before I buy anything. A little bit on the big side, but no reason not to run it. I already got V-bands and everything for it. But other than that, I'd like to maybe work on the intercooler pipe a little bit, get that tacked up, downpipe tacked up, do some fit check on the catch can I made. So this is the old one that you might have or have not seen. This used to be on the front of the motor, so this used to mount right here on those two little studs, so that was right there. And with that setup, it was fine to recircuit into the turbo just because for the power was running and the stock compression, it wasn't really pushing it as far as getting close to like the octane limitation of ethanol. Now that I'm running high compression with a looser ring gap, potentially it could run into issues with if you're pushing too much blow-by gases back into the intake. It could lower the octane and then cause a detonation. So now we're going to do a vented one. I'm just going to use a panel filter. So I'm just going to do a fit check, or not fit check, but I need to make tabs to mount it, so it'll sit right in there like that. So I just need to make a tab to utilize that hole back there, and then we'll make a little tab that comes over and catches one of those bolt holes right there. But yeah, it's just a 10 and a 12 in. So just vent atmosphere, and then I got a little drain on there. It didn't look right to put I don't know, call it sight glass or like level tube you see on a coolant tank, just because it's so short. Like by the time you put a fitting, you know, up here say, and then down at the bottom, you only have like 2 inches of hose, so it just made it look a little bit cluttered. So instead of doing that, I just put a quick petcock on here, so I'll figure out roughly how long it takes before it fills up, and then I can just, you know, just get like a solo cup or something, drain it into the cup, and then I'm good to go again. So, but yeah, for now, I think we're gonna start on either downpipe or the intercooler piping, but onto the time lapse. Time-lapse might be getting a little boring, but you're not really missing much, nor can I show you that much either. Still gotta turn the welder back on. Essentially all I'm doing is I'm cutting little pieces, and like I said, this is all used stuff except for this. This front piece was never run. but all this is just used piping that have been from crash cars and whatnot, and I'm just, you know, clean up the edge where I'm going to weld it. It'll be good for what I'm doing. Saves me a little money, but it takes more time to do it. So essentially I'm just cutting pieces, you know, cleaning up the edges, getting it cut at an angle so I can go underneath and just kind of clock everything and see where I need bends and whatnot. And this will be the last piece of tacking for this. This is just going to be the downpipe essentially. And so once I get all this tacked in, I have an idea where it's all going to be, and I don't want to keep going because it's going to move when I actually go to weld it. So at a certain point you want to kind of weld up everything upstream of what you're adding onto, because, you know, if it moves a little bit up here, down here it can move a lot. So I don't want to start building from here down until this is all essentially done, like it's not going to move around anymore. So, like I said, just lining up my marks, and I'll put a few tacks around it, set it back in there, make sure it's sitting where, you know, I'm okay, it's away from everything, shouldn't have any clearance issues. And the next step, I'm either going to keep going down this road and start playing with the wastegate recirc tube going into here, or I might switch over and do the intercooler pipe for the hot side. So yeah, I got a bunch of little irons in the fire. I'm just trying to figure out which one, you know, to put the most time into. So when you're doing stuff like this, you don't feel like you're getting much done, but it's time you just got to put into it. So let's go ahead and weld her up. Saws, and that's trying to cut stainless with them. Usually you go with like a really slow speed with heavy cuts, because if you're just rubbing it is when you're going to work hard in it, and then it's just downhill from there. So I tried to be as slow as I could on the RPM with a lot of pressure, and 2 hole saws in a row, there went 25 bucks or so. So note to self, don't ever do that. So I had to cut the piece off. Took a death wheel to it, you know, just kind of working my way around to try to make a circle, clean it up with a sanding drum, which also didn't last long. Got it tacked back in place. Now I got all the ends capped off, all the holes plugged, a couple of vents poked in each end, and now I'm back purging it, feeding argon through there. So I don't know if I should time lapse this or actually take video. Probably time lapse it because it's a really slow, long process. But here we go. We'll start welding up the downpipe. Alright guys, that's a wrap. It's like, I don't know, 1 or 1:30 in the morning, I think. I'm just over it for tonight. So, got pretty far. Got the downpipe, I had this part, you know, tacked together, but finished weld the downpipe all the way to the wastegate port. I'm going to sleep on it, but I'm starting to think I'm just going to weld this. It's so short that to cut a relief, you have to cut a pretty deep relief to actually allow it to bend with a clamp. I mean, it's pretty strong, so it's not going to bend easily. So I'm going to sleep on it, but I'm thinking probably in the morning I'll take this guy out, fully weld him all around, so I know he's not going to move. Clamp everything together solid, where you know where it's going to live. Once I lock it together, I can, you know, I can get about 80% of this welded together as it sits, you know, all assembled, so it shouldn't try to move too much on me, and then pull it apart to the last little bit. So I think that's the plan for tomorrow. So we'll finish downpipe up. Might start playing with the exhaust essentially at that point, or just, you know, the mid pipe. It was a bad day for cutting tools. Burnt 2 hole saws. That was my fault. The bandsaw blade broke. The chop saw disc is pretty much worn out. You know, it gets to the point where it's not actually cutting all the way through the parts. You know, there's a little bit left. You just bend and twist it off. So I need to go buy some abrasives and saws and blades and all kinds of stuff like that tomorrow. I'd like to get downpipe and that guy done. Get the intercooler hot side fitted and done. I like to get the power steering cooler mounted. Might put the oil cooler in there. How do I say? I gotta figure out what order I want to do stuff in. So the biggest three things were, the downpipe, recirc, and exhaust. Downpipe and recirc, that'll be done this weekend. I can get it wrapped. But once that stuff's done, manifold goes on. The turbo manifold can go on, bolted on, done. The turbo go on, done. I still gotta weld an inlet to it and finish welding the elbow, but the turbo itself can go on, done. The cover needs to get a little work. The hot pipe could go on, done, and I can kind of start placing little stuff over at the corner of that bay, get it finished up. Then just go from there. Still need to start running the water lines for the wastegate and stuff like that. So far, it'd be a pretty good weekend. Just gonna get this all finished up, and the wastegate, recirc tube fits, and it isn't warped or anything. Once I get it finished welded, be a decent amount done. Good progress. After that, the last big fabrication project will be the exhaust. Still got to fit the oil catch can and whatnot. I got to do I think just 2 quick jobs for a buddy. So, and then tomorrow I was going to go to a dyno day and watch a buddy's car get tuned and see what it makes, but that got pushed back till next weekend. So tomorrow pretty much be a full pull on the car, minus having to go to the store to buy some materials, or cutting stuff. But getting tired, rambling on, so it's late, going to bed. Catch you guys tomorrow.